playoffs.
This is going to be fun right here.
Oh, yeah. Spot on, spot off.
No, it's not.
Someone from outside of the cut line will race their way into the playoffs.
Before we,
I'm so glad I'm not in that situation.
So before we do this and hand this thing off to Freddie, because Freddie's the only one that really matters.
Yep.
Here's who has to win at this point, and I'm going to say his name because in my mind, 30-plus points at Daytona is a lot. So Ty Gibbs, can he win a plate race? Can he win at Daytona?
Yes.
TJ.
I don't believe so.
I don't either. Daniel Suarez.
I don't believe so.
Now it gets good. Alex Bowman.
Yes, but there's an asterisk there.
AJ Allmendinger.
It's going to be tough.
Chase Elliott.
Asterisk.
What the f*** does asterisk mean?
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna.
It means they got fast cars, but they don't always race.
But now you have. It was easier when you had. It would have been easier if you had one car you had to get in. Now you have two cars that are racing for that position. You know, going into there, if Bowman was already in or Chase was locked in, they are gonna line some cars up, and they are not gonna leave the bumper of that car, and we've seen it before.
Chevrolet orders are going to be massive. All right, here we're going to keep going though, because a lot of these guys have wins at Daytona.
I
and
have
Talladega.
two guys
What?
circled on my list.
I can't wait to hear what they are.
What will Chevy's orders be, though?
I don't know. We're not there yet. Austin Cindric, can he win Daytona? He won at Daytona 500. Why are you shaking your
He
head?
has before, so I got to put him on the list that he can.
Justin Haley,
Yes.
Ryan Preece,
Yes.
Eric Amarola,
Yes.
Todd Gilliland.
No.
I'm going to give you two. Actually, I got to go three more. I was only going to go two more. Corey LaJoy,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Austin Dillon.
Yes.
Holy people are like, holy people are like, oh, it's going to be really hard. I don't think we're going to have a new winner. There's 10 guys right here that have won plate races in the top 3 series that are going to be highly competitive. I think the Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger thing is going to be the hardest because they're not a key partner, and Chevrolet could care less if they make it. They're going to want to put their boys in there, which is Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. But I still think Daniel Suarez, there's a bunch of guys on here, Freddie, that make me nervous for you.
Who's the two guys you think I got circled?
I hope it's Corey LaJoy and Chase Elliott.
I think you're
It
going
is
to
not.
have Eric Almirola, and I think you're going to have
Austin Dillon.
Nope. Close.
no.
Ty Dillon.
Say Cindric.
Cindric. Austin
Why?
Cindric
Yeah.
and Eric Almirola are the two guys that I am concerned the most about because one manufacturer seems to dominate control of these races, and it's Ford. And then if they get control of the race, it's hard to get it away from them. And if they've got team orders, majority of these
I hope
Fords
the 6 controls the whole race.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you still need to win. Not that you need to win to get into playoffs, but you need to win for playoff points because that's a big deal for you.
I'll go ahead and tell you, if
to
we're
get
leading,
the next, yeah,
we're going to go
yeah.
for the win.
You know, but everybody else is kind of, their interest maybe lies better in getting the Penske guys are going to be trying to get the 2 in. You know, the
Joey Logano ain't going to give about the 2 winning.
Oh, you're right. But and Ryan Blaney shouldn't because they've had issues. But there's going to be team orders there of some sort. So those are the guys, and like you said, both of them have won plate races before. You're worried about everybody. But and the thing is, like I said it on here last week, and it's kind of come to fruition that I almost didn't want to have a points buffer going in because you want to go in there and just race your ass off.
Yeah.
And
you want to give those points up today then?
no, absolutely not. But, it still puts you in a position where you've got to make a decision. And, like, it's easy to say, all right, like we talked about the last 2 weeks, go out there, have a clean race, make them guys chase you down and beat you. Well, you don't want to do that here because this is if you just sit back and run in the back, safest place to be, obviously. First of all, it's not 100% safe.
Yeah.
It's not 100% safe, but it's manageable back there. And Ty Dillon goes and wins 2 stages. Now it's a 15-point deficit or something like that. 12-point deficit the rest of the race, and you're like, now I got to race this guy heads up pretty much. On the flip side, if we can go up there and gain 7 or 8 points and make that advantage 39-40 by the end of the second stage, then they can't catch us in points. So now I think you have to weigh both options of put yourself. We seen last year in this race, lap 6, there's a huge pileup and takes out Ryan Blaney. who ends up getting a bunch of damage, who's in the battle for points. I think he ended up getting in because of, Truex ends up wrecking after that somehow.
Well, it made minimum speed under yellow.
Yeah.
I think there's a wild card here too, and I'm not smart enough to tell you that analysis on it, but there's a handful of spotters up there that have won a lot of plate races, and I call them plate races, between the Xfinity Series and Cup Series. Those guys tend to find their way to the front. Those same spotters, they know what information to give. Obviously, their drivers are good at what they're doing. They're in fast cars, but I mean, I've seen guys win races getting terrible information on the last lap. Swerve back and forth. I'll go, what does that mean? I saw, I'm not going to get into it, but I think when you look at, the guys that have won a lot of plate races, the drivers and spotters that have won a lot of plate races together, I think you're going to find those guys up front. And look, Cindric and Doug have been hitting on all cylinders at this place. You and Bubba have been hitting on all cylinders at this place, even though y'all haven't won a lot of races yet. You've won some, and some gives you the confidence to know you're giving good information. I mean, I remember we got to Big Al's one night after a Daytona Talladega race, and you were like, I screwed up. I told him this, and I told him the opposite of what I should have told him. You won't do that again. You won't make that mistake again. So it's I think there's a lot of guys that can make this night very, very fun and interesting. I just hope that it's going to be hot. Even though it's going to be at night, it's going to be 90 degrees during the day. So when we start that race, it's going to be slick. There's going to be a lot of fun factors. One caution, we had 2 cautions over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, we're going to stop for stage breaks. We're going to see wrecks this weekend.
Yeah. And there's a whole nother factor to this bubble thing that a lot of people aren't talking about is we're 30 points out of the playoffs on the owner's side. And that's where it really matters. Not that the Drivers' Championship doesn't matter, but to these team owners, to the value of the charter, to a lot of different things, the owner's points is more important than the driver's points.
Yeah.
And we're 30 points behind the 9. So now,
And the 9 asked about that yesterday for that reason.
Really? Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, during the race. Yeah,
But-
once he got his problem.
But so now, that lends itself to, hey, we need to just go up there, race our ass off. And to your point, Bubba is very good at this. We worked very hard over the last 10, 15 years, whatever it's been, to get good at this. And that can put us in position to potentially affect the outcome of the race, affect who wins. We could either put ourselves in position to win, or we could help, a guy that's already won win the race. So I think it lends itself to, and if it's up to me tomorrow, if they call me tomorrow and say, what do you want to do? You know me. We want to race.
So end of the race, you're sitting P4. And
we 2x2.
Yeah, we're sitting P4. We're getting ready to pick for the final green-white checker, right? Because we're going to assume that we're going to make it back to the white flag. On the top side, you've got 2 Hendrick cars that have picked up there. You've got Byron and Larson, 1 and 2. And on the bottom, you've got Austin Cindric. Who are you picking behind?
Austin Cindric.
You ain't going to push him, are you?
Not a damn chance. I'm going to push him right up until it's going to hurt. I'm going to, not to the white. You know what I mean? You're going to push him as far as you can help yourself a little bit, but not past them guys. That's what I'm saying. We almost need to be up there to be in position to manipulate the race, or have an effect on the outcome of the race.
Where do you want to be leading on the last lap? Coming to the white flag. Do you want to be in second place? Think you're racing to the checker, or do you
I
want
would
to be
like
You
to
cannot think you're racing to the checker.
Yeah, I'd like to be leading, and that's what happened to us at Talladega. We're blocking in turn 1 because there's no guarantee that the whole field doesn't wreck behind us.
You're racing to the white.
Yeah.
So going back to the start of the race, do you see guys maybe hold back a little bit until towards the end?
There's going to be some guys that don't care about stage points but the problem now, and especially now, it's not like it was 3 years ago. You can't ride in the back the whole race and then make a charge late, because that's just not what this package does anymore. So if we do say, all right, we're going to go up there, we made the decision, we're going to ride around and see what kind of stage points them guys get. Okay, well, if they get some points, now we got to go race. Well, guess what? We're not going to just be able to drive back up there like you have been in years past.
No.
It's going to take time. It's going to take, if you could say maybe you sit and watch the first stage and see how that goes and then go race. But, you can't sit the whole race and then go, all right, I'm going to go run with 20 to go and go run up in there and get me a decent finish.